Hey guys, Sam the Raid Man back here again with another video today. Today's going to be a new video. We're going to be doing a tier list for the best arena nukers. Just looking at AoE nukers today. Okay guys, so for the different tiers we have God tier. There's going to be select few champions that are just the best of the best when it comes to arena nuking. Amazing champions, these are champions that either hit really hard or just do the job really well, but aren't bringing quite as much to the table as the top champions. Great or really good champions that we see a lot, very popular, and for solid reasons. If they're your best options, that's great. They can do their job well. Fine are just some champions that I still see a lot or very accessible, and that, again, if it's your last resort, that'll work, but really you're waiting for an upgrade to get to one of the better tiers. So let's start with a fine champion. We're going to put Aethel. All the starter champions are going to fine. Aethel, Elhain, Gaelic, and Kael. Aethel increases her own attack, which is nice. Elhain hits the hardest and has 2 AoEs. Gaelic brings the least, and Kael hits pretty hard and gains turn meter if he kills somebody with his AoE. So they're all fine. These are great champions to use in the arena when you start, but pretty much as soon as you get almost any of these other ones, with the exception of Seer, I would say use any of these champions over these 5 or these 4. Seer is in here because I see her a lot, and people think that she's going to be great, and she is okay. She's fine, as the category says, but she's lacking. And if you're using your Seer in the arena, then you're not getting the full use out of her. She is the best wave clearer in the game. Use her there. Use one of these champions for your arena nuker. So we're actually going to start out with a God tier, starting out with a banger, Candrafon, Mr. Squidman himself. Not going to go into detail too much, but really hard to kill. When any enemy team gets buffs or turn meter, he gives himself a veil that can't be removed. He hits hard under veil and he takes less damage under veil. Really, really good for go second, and even really solid for go first. Pairs well with a Duchess or a Rector Drath. So Candrafon, absolutely God tier, one of the best in the game. Cupid is probably the hardest to rank on this whole tier list. His damage is great. It's not amazing, it's not God tier damage, but his ability when he partners with Venus of counterattacking anytime he's hit, AoE on the A1 with Venus is God tier. So if I would say if he's on a team with Venus, he's a God tier arena nuker. If he's out, he's great. So I'm going to put him as amazing. Because that's why he's on this list, is because he is so meta now when he's partnered with Venus. Next up we have Foley. I think Foley's pretty easy. Foley blocks revive, can't be CC'd, which is awesome, but doesn't hit super hard and can only block revive on the AoE. So still really good, just not good enough really. I mean, he's been outscaled a lot as time's gone on. Genbo, I'm going to go in the same tier. Genbo doesn't hit very hard. Honestly, hits kind of like these starter champions, maybe a little bit harder. But when Genbo is under increased attack, he ignores unkillable, which is great against champions like Leorius and champions like Skullcrown. So convenient for speed farming. I used Genbo for a little while. Doesn't hit super hard. You're going to be hard pressed to take down a Duchess or a Magnar or yeah, lots of champions. Anyone that's built super well. Next up, we have another God tier champion, Hefrak. I'm putting Hefrak above Candrafon. Hefrak is probably my new favorite arena nuker. If you haven't seen my video, go watch it on Hefrak. Probably the most fun I've had making a YouTube video to date. Just amazing. I use him every day. He makes me so happy. So glad I pulled that champion. Please go check out that video, guys. I love Hefrak. Next up, we have Herndig. Herndig's interesting. I'm going to put Herndig probably ahead of Astralon in amazing. Herndig has 2 AoEs, hits really hard, can get another turn as A1 with a little mini reset if he kills somebody. He also brings some turn meter decrease defense, and weaken. So great damage, but also some utility, which is why I like Herndig so much. I think he's great. If you can graduate from one of the starter champions to Herndig, he will carry you for a long time, all the way up to Gold 5. He is a great champion. And Neathwy I'm going to put right down here in great, just above Foley. They hit similarly hard, and Neathwy did get buffed. He's got really high attack, but the reason I like him above Foley is that Neathwy blocks revive on all of his abilities. So that is really good. That kind of gives him the edge over Foley, although Foley can't be CC'd, that's why they're close. But really just doesn't hit that hard, to be honest. Ethos, let's go bottom of amazing right here. 2 AoEs. He's awesome. Old school champion. He can be a nightmare campaign farmer. He's great. Solid damage. Nothing fantastic, but he does the job really well. Very textbook, very simple. Constantine, I think I'm going to put here. Some people would have Constantine in God tier. Some people probably have him down here in great. I think he's amazing. I actually don't have him. One of the few champions. Well, there's a few. One of the champions on this list that I don't have. A few factions he can just automatically block revival on, and they're all factions that are very meta at the moment in the arena. And if he's partnered with Vlad, he becomes even better. Blocks revival on everybody. Sadly, Vlad is just not very good. You're kind of wasting a spot if you put Vlad on your arena team just to empower Constantine. But he is awesome. He's got an AoE that hits twice, I believe. Absolute smack. Really, really good champion. Wouldn't mind pulling him. Not my most wanted void by any means, but still really, really solid champion. Let's go back with another god tier. Leorius. Don't have him. Probably is my most wanted void legendary. When he gets down to 1 HP, he becomes unkillable, and then his damage increases for every percentage of HP that he's lost. He can't be CC'd until he's taken a turn, basically until his A2 is off or on cooldown. So a lot of people have Leo as number 1, and I understand the argument for it, but the thing is, I've seen Hefrak and what he can do. I haven't really seen Leo as much. I've fought against him, and that's fair, but I have Hefrak, and I can confirm that he is this amazing. I don't know. Leo's up there. I understand the argument for it. I think this could go either way, but personal, prejudice, my bias, I'm putting Hefrak up there. Now, this is going to be one of my two probably hottest takes on this tier list. Magnar. A lot of people have him up here. A lot of people have him up here. I got him down here. I mean, he is great, like the category says, but I just don't think he's as amazing as everyone says he is. Yes, he's a great epic, one of the best epic ones, but you can't boost HP-based damage. He hits hard for an HP-based nuker. He doesn't as hard as these guys. And he is good for Ghost Second teams, but so are any of the defense-based nukers. So is Leorius, so is Candrafon, so is Hefrak, so is Cupidus in a Stone Skin team. Like, that isn't unique, him being built on HP. You can't boost HP like I can boost Hefrak's attack. I can boost all these guys' attack. I can boost Stoutus's defense or Solus's defense. You can't boost HP. So it's hard to buff his damage. I think he's overrated. I think he's a good champion, a great champion even. I just think he's overrated. So, not going to harp on that too long. I just get frustrated when I see people say, rage, best nuker, damaging Trunda. I don't know. Moving on. Let's put Ray right here in the middle of amazing. I think she's underrated. I mean, she's got AoEs all over the place. She's got an AoE freeze if you build it with accuracy. She's got an AoE buff removal, which is awesome. It can hypothetically can remove Stone Skin if she's got the accuracy and it's 50-50. You can remove Unkillable. I mean, you can remove increased defense. I mean, there's so much stuff you can remove. She can set up other arena nukers. She's super versatile, tons of damage. She's good in PvE and PvP. Awesome champion. Let's go up with another god tier. Baron. I'm going to put Baron here. I understand why Leorius might be better than him. Baron definitely one of the hardest hitters. Super easy to set up. You just need increased attack, essentially. Does have a few flaws. You don't need decreased defense, which is nice. That's not a flaw. That's a strength. But not good against Rhodos. He only hits once, and Rhodos will just get half of his health taken away and then come back at you. Not good against Leorius or Skullcrown. Just going to hit them down to 1 HP. Then they can come back at you. Still really amazing. Very easy, especially for lower tiers of arena, but as you get higher, I think it gets tougher. To be fair, the higher defense an opponent has, the better Baron becomes, because he just ignores more defense than almost anyone else can, especially on an AoE. So he definitely is up here. I've moved away from my Baron when I pulled my Hefrak, and I think I'm staying with Hefrak. Next up is Robar, another interesting one. Just pulled him. If you haven't watched my shard opening video, go check that out. Robar, I'm going to put probably top of great, maybe bottom of amazing. He's tough because Robar has an ability, it's an AoE ability, and if the opponents are under a crowd control debuff like sleep, stun, all the other ones, freeze, then he hits harder, and the damage levels for that hit is up here. I mean, it's one of the hardest AoE hits in the game. He's also got another AoE that does decreased defense, and an A1 that places stuns. If he places a stun, he gets an extra turn. So you can kind of go like an Energizer Bunny and just go and go and go. But the thing is, we're talking about AoE nukers, and if I'm running a team, I want to run it fast. I want to go in, cleave, beat him, get my medals, on to the next one. And he's just not the best for that. He's really good paired with the Kymar. I think that maybe boosts him up to here. To be honest, maybe I'll change my opinion on Robar once I've tested it a little bit more, but just think he requires a little too much setup. But that being said, in PvE and stuff outside of the arena, I think he's even better than a lot of these champions. Next up is Shemnath. I'm going to put Shemnath here. I don't want to be unfair, but I've never used Shemnath. It's a her, I think, because it's like the Statue of Liberty. I know Shemnath has an AoE that removes buffs, and then I know that her passive is increasing her crit damage by all the debuffs on her opponent, similar to like Stoutus. Um, I haven't seen a lot of people use her. You know, I'm in Gold 5, low plat sometimes, and I've never really seen her used. But she was really high on the tier list, and I understand that she can be great. So I'm going to put her in bottom of amazing. I think that's pretty fair. Skull Crown, I'm going to put right here. Skull Crown is great. Doesn't hit the hardest, but really, really amazing for early game. Can absolutely carry you in early game. Does hit hard, good in blender teams, and again, super annoying like Leo, where if she gets hit down to 1 HP, she gets unkillable, and then she's almost guaranteed to hit you again. So she is really good. She can, clutch out a few wins for you, ruin some people's days. Great, classic OG champion, just kind of outscaled by some of these amazing, especially legendaries. Next up is Soulless. Soulless is really difficult. I'm going to put Soulless right here. One of the best defensive nukers in the game, just off of base stats and not including passives and stuff. The hardest defensive AoE smack in the game. Really awesome champion. Just, yeah, I mean, it's defensive based, really good for go second. I prefer attack based champions in most of my arena teams because I'm trying to get through them fast, and that's not Soulless's strength, although you can build them if you use like a Sifi type team. Next up is Stoutus. I'm putting Stoutus just ahead of, honestly guys, I'm tempted to put Stoutus up here. Screw it. Stoutus Dragonbane, God tier arena nuker. You heard it here first, folks. Watch my video on him. I absolutely love him. He clutches out some wins where he shouldn't. I understand that Soulless technically hits harder based off of his base defense and the multiplier, but Stoutus's passive is awesome. Basically, his damage increases for every debuff on the opponent. As long as there's two, especially if there's three debuffs, on the opponent, so let's talk decreased defense, when weaken and sleep, then he's going to hit harder than Soulless. I think he is just amazing. 2 AoEs, super cool animations, got a stun if you want it. Maybe that's recency bias for me, and I don't have Soulless, but I love Stoutus Dragonbane. I think he is just so good. Next up is Trunda. I wanted less in the God tier, but Trunda has to go up here. Honestly, Trunda's there. Stoutus is the worst here, but I refuse to move him down to amazing. Trunda, one of the hardest hitters in the game, just got passed by Hefrak. Kind of like Baron, you don't even really need decreased defense. Like if you just put her increased attack and then just racket her damage up, she is going to smack people. She's got low accuracy, she's going to hit twice. She's got another AoE that hits really hard. Definitely passed up a little bit by buff, new champion, new champion. Kanderfon is close. I mean, Kanderfon, I think you could argue, it's neck and neck. Trunda's better for arena offense. Kanderfon's better for arena defense. They're both amazing. So you could swap those however you'd like. Last up, we have Astralon. Astralon's kind of tough because I think I will put it here. Yeah. I'm going to put it here, keep the symmetry. Astralon is great. Damage isn't the best, but also 100% if it booked, AoE stun. But the thing is, that's not what you don't really want to bank on that. Like if your arena nuker's going, you don't want them to be stunned to take another turn. You just want them to be dead. And he doesn't hit as hard as a lot of these champions. So that's it, guys. Hope I didn't piss off too many people, but I enjoyed making this. Hope you guys enjoy it. Leave your comments. What did I get wrong? What changes would you make? Any particular champions I left off the list that you really like or you've seen a lot? Please let me know.